Hey and welcome to this match preview. Our team, Wolverhampton Wanderers, travelling to Craven Cottage to face Fulham. A big game for both sides, and there's loads jam-packed in this. So if you enjoy these sort of videos, please smash the like and leave a comment below. So let's get stuck into it. So, yeah, as I said, there's loads to get in. We've got Leon from BoyleSports, we've got my dad, Magic Moss, we've got my team selection and also my score prediction. So coming out the press conference with Nuno, before I get onto my predicted lineup, Nuno's confirmed that the injury situation stays the same. Obviously, we knew the terrible news about Johnny Otto. We thought Martino might be back in contention for this one, but it seems like he's going to miss out. And Bolly has to self-isolate until next Tuesday, so we should see him back and available for the Sheffield United game. As such, I've gone with this team selection, which may surprise you. I've suggested he goes with the back three, Rui Patricio, and then we've got Saiss and Cody. But I'd move Saiss over to the right-hand side to give Kilman a chance to come into the side. So playing a strong start at the back three. In the middle, Neves and Dendoncker. And then we've got Aitnori in for Johnny Otto and Semedo. And then up front, there's an argument to start Fabio Silva. I do think this is going to be quite a muscular game, shall we say, a physical game. Fabio Silva is very technically gifted, but we might need a little bit of strength in the box, either boxes. So that's why I think he'll persist with William Jose, still looking for his first goal, and me and Leon talk about the odds for both Fabio and William Jose, and they're good odds as well. And then Traore, and I'd start Podence instead of Neto. I don't think Neto's been quite on it since he's come back off the in the last couple of games, and obviously he went away, and maybe he's just a little bit of tiredness there. Podence, we know, is probably going to get half an hour, so it gives us the option to bring on Neto later on in the game to make an impact, and then switch him either with Podence or Traore. It'd be interesting on your thoughts ahead of that one and what you think of my ideas and thoughts. Nuno's talked about the 5 without a win. He said we're always concerned and we don't achieve what we want, we're totally focused on ourselves. He's talked about Fulham, knowing that they're going to start strong. We must try and get as many details as we can to raise our standards. We've had ups and downs this season. Game by game tomorrow, I'm positive we're going to perform better. When asked about what he does when he gets away from football to relax in defeat, his answer says, I do not relax. It's tough not only for me, every manager will say this is one of the toughest seasons. It's emotionally tough. We feel others' pain, especially on the injuries, our own minds and bodies. Requires a spirit of unity, and maybe that's a little message to the fans as well, to stick with the team. I know people are starting to panic a little bit about being drawn into this relegation battle, and me personally, I'm not worried about us going down, and a lot of people are saying it's a must win against Fulham. I'm not so sure it's a must win. I think it's a must not lose, really. That would keep the 9 points. Don't forget, Fulham have played one more game than us. Interestingly, in the stats, Fulham obviously have had some good results, have been playing well, but they have not won in 3 since they beat Liverpool. In fact, they've lost 3 games in a row. As we touched on, Wolves haven't won in 5. So for both, I mean, for Fulham, it's pretty desperate that they need to win. In fact, their manager Scott Parker's been talking about it. He said it's a must-win. It's a must-win game. Last week was a must-win. Next week is a must-win. Every game is a must-win. And he basically says, do I feel if I don't win it's a defining? He says, no, not at all, but we need to win it. Yes, we do. And he reckons that they can and will win it. In fact, interestingly, when Leon gets onto this, you'll see that Fulham are slight favourites. It's going to be a tough game indeed. And Nuno's also mentioned as well, good luck to the Wolves women in their FA Cup on Sunday. So with lots of interest there, interest on the team. I'm going to come back in a little while with my dad and then my score prediction at the end. I'm interested in whether you will agree with me or not. But without any further ado, let's switch over and look at the latest odds and discuss this game with Leon from BoyleSports. So we're back again. I'm looking ahead to the Fulham versus Wolves game, and I'm fantastically proud to be joined again by Leon from BoyleSports. Leon, how are you doing and what are you thinking ahead of this one?
I'm doing good, Dave. Look, it's a big game. I think Wolves, they are on a bit of a bad run at the moment. Fulham, since they actually beat Liverpool, I thought that would have been their kind of springboard to kind of stay in the Premier League, but they've got a real battle on their hands now to try and avoid relegation. So it's a tough one to call. It really is. Good that Wolves got 2 goals in the last game against West Ham, but they are the underdogs going into this one at 21-10.
Right.
Fulham are favourites at 7-5, and the draw is 2-1. I don't know. I mean, Wolves, you would expect them to have enough to try and beat Fulham, but I just think Fulham at the moment, they are really fighting for their lives, Dave, so it's going to be an interesting match.
Yeah, well, to be honest, there's a lot of Wolves fans that are starting to get stressed out about getting drawn into relegation, but I'm not really one of those. We're 9 points clear of Fulham. They've played a game more. I think for Wolves, it's probably a must not lose rather than a must win, because it keeps the gap there and calm a few nerves down. Wolves, of course, suffering with losing Johnny Otto before the game against West Ham. Moutinho still doubtful with a groin injury. Willy Bolly having to self-isolate with a COVID. It does make us difficult. Nuno went with a back 4 against West Ham, and we absolutely got took apart in the first half of that game until we got back into it, and then we nearly pulled back a miraculous 3-3 draw. Who do you think is going to get the first goal scorer? It was great to see Fabio Silva taking his goal really well when he came on second half against West Ham.
Yeah, you know what? And you know, like Fabio Silva, he's still such a young kid. But on the couple of goals that he's actually scored for Wolves, you'd have to say both of them, Dave, were expertly taken. So we know that the talent is there. We know he's got the quality, and he's just going to take a little bit of time. So another guy who you'd have to say, however, though, is on absolute fire at the moment is Alexander Mitrovic.
Yeah.
Since he went away to the international break with Serbia, I saw it firsthand. He scored 2 goals against Ireland. He kicked on in those other group games. He's come back and he's still scoring goals. So Scott Parker now is looking at Mitrovic as his main man. He's 11-2 to score the first goal in this particular game. Josh Maja, who obviously used to play for Sunderland, he's in there at 6-1. But you talked about Fabio Silva. Surely he's got to start this game, Dave. He's 15-2 to score the first goal in Fulham against Wolves. And I think if he starts the game, that's a bloody big price. 7.5-1 for young Silva to open the scoring. If you don't want to go for him for scoring the first goal of the game, he's 3-1 to score at any time across the 90 minutes. I just feel when a striker scores a goal like that against West Ham, it gives him confidence. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if Nuno starts him and goes back to the 3 centre halves, which can obviously make it 5 across the back when you're defending.
Very interesting that is. It's going to be very interesting to see what formation Nuno plays and who he starts up front. There's been calls for Kilman to start, but of course he starts generally on the right-hand side. I do feel against West Ham, a player like Antonio and Mitrovic is in a very similar build, strong, good in the air, powerful, links to play up. It does worry me, Mitrovic, because he does have an eye for goal and he's in form at the moment. But just to finish off on, I've got to ask you, mate, because we talk about him every single game. William Jose, you know what I'm going to say. What are the odds on him? Are the odds getting longer?
They are getting a bit bigger now. He's 7.5-1 to score the first goal in the game, Dave. He's exact same price as Silva. He's 3-1 to score at any time. Surely, we've been saying this most weeks, he's going to score, but he hasn't done it yet. However, I think there's going to be goals in this game. I really do, because Fulham need wins. I think Wolves are looking, I don't think Wolves are going to come anywhere near relegation, but I think they want to get a win just to put everyone's mind at ease. Yeah. I'm going to go for over 2.5 goals, so 3 or more goals at 7-5. That's what I'm going to be playing in this game on Friday night. I think there will be goals. I think Wolves can actually win this one, maybe 2-1. And I think Mitrovic, he might get on the score sheet for Fulham, but I'm hoping Wolves will have enough to claim all 3 points.
I certainly hope so, mate, because to stop everyone getting stressed. And just to remind everyone, get on the BoyleSports website app, mobile or tablet, get your free £10 bet, throw a tenner in there, get your free bet. And as always, bet what you can afford, bet small, but have fun. Thanks ever so much for Liam for joining us again. I hope you found that enjoyable. Please smash a like if you enjoyed that content. And now let's go over to my dad and another one of his furry friends to see what he thinks ahead of this one and what song and tune has he got for us today. Hey Dad, how are you today and who have you got with you today?
Pedro.
Are you sure you're not making it up as you go along, Dad?
Yeah.
You are, yeah, I thought so. So, you and Pedro, how are you feeling after the West Ham game? And what are your score predictions for Fulham on Friday night?
It was a bit disappointed Wednesday, Davey. Very disappointed.
Yeah.
Especially the back. Yeah. Very disappointed. I thought I started off first 5 minutes and that was it. And that chap who run right through bloody 5 of the Wolves players, unbelievable. But that's the way it goes. So I've got to tighten up a bit, don't they?
They have. And what are you thinking about the Fulham game, Dad? Fulham desperate for points, scrapping to stay in the division.
Yeah, you're going to be easy matches. None of them are easy matches. Fulham survival, they want survival. So I think they'll win now. Well, I hope so. Anyway, they've got to win this one, haven't they?
Well, let's hope. What's your score prediction, Dad?
2-0.
Oh, right. It's going to be a tough match, but we're going to win 2-0. Okay. And, Dad, who's your goal scorers? Who are you going to go with?
Who's going to score? I think... we'll have Pedro Neto in.
Yeah, well done, Dad. And who else?
And I think... I'll have Cody.
Cody's going to score a goal. Fair enough. So that's Cody and Pedro Neto. I thought you might have gone for Bonanza, mate, but Dad, but no.
Well, I would have done, but I don't know if he's playing, do we?
Well, he started the other night. I think it's a fair bet he's going to start. No,
I'll stick to that when I go.
Well, you got to now because you've said it. So, Dad, before we go, it's a tradition now on the channel. What's your song for everyone this week to cheer everyone up?
Song?
You said you knew what you were doing.
Smile though your heart is breaking. Smile even though it's aching. And there will be clouds in the sky. You'll get by. If you smile at your tears and sorrow, smile and there'll be tomorrow. Then will the sun come shining through. Just keep on smiling.
Let's hope we're all smiling after the game against Fulham, Dad. Absolute superstar you are.
We will be.
Up the Wolves, always Wolves, Dad.
Always Wolves, David.
Love you lot.
Love you.
Love ya. Brilliant from my dad, Majek Moss, as always. So, on to the score prediction from myself with the PitchFootball app. I'm going to go plump for Fulham 1, Wolves 2. It's going to be difficult. I just hope we start positive. It'd be interesting in the formation and the personnel. Obviously, I gave you my thoughts on what would do. It'll be interesting to use yours again as well. But yeah, I'm going to go with a 2-1 to Wolves. I'm hoping we can get back to winning ways. I think we only need one more win to be pretty much certain. But definitely let's not lose this game, because if we lose it, it's going to be obviously... there's going to probably be a meltdown on Twitter. So hopefully you'll join me on the watch along, and then an hour after the game we've got a late night extra time with me and Amy. Make sure that you set up your timers, put the reminders on for joining with that one. Whatever the result, it's going to be a tasty one, that's for sure. Until then, until the watch along, I'm Dazzling Dave, always Wolves.